Hello, welcome back. It's Lee. A lot has changed in the last month, and since then to now, I've gone from having a little bit less than 100 subscribers to I'm almost at 2,000, but I still feel like everything holds true. I have been posting on YouTube. The first time I posted was maybe a little over 10-ish years ago. It's worth it to do YouTube, even if you aren't that consistent at it, even if it's just a hobby that you take casually. And I want to explain why. Number one is YouTube provides me with a way to stay accountable and reflect upon my life by having the ability to look back on things because I've recorded them. And I'm able to see what's actually happened in my life versus what I have planned to happen. So for example, if I attempted to vlog, which I did attempt at it for quite a couple of years, even though I wasn't the most successful at it, I would vlog a lot of vacations and things that I considered worth sharing. And then I realized, like, when I wasn't even filming, regardless of whether it made it up or not, I wasn't doing enough of the things that I considered worth sharing with anyone. So then it keeps me accountable. I need to do more things that I consider worth doing in my life that I'm proud of, and it points me in a good direction. That's extremely valuable to me personally. And number two, to kind of dive deeper into number one, when I get overwhelmed with life, with stress, especially with that toxic job I had for the last 2 years before recently, I remember what it is that I've actually spent my time on and what's happened. And I realized back then that I felt like I'm wasting my days, I'm wasting my life, I'm not doing anything, I'm just suffering. Like, it was easy for me to get into a really depressive state. So on those times when I was feeling super overwhelmed and stressed, thinking like, oh my god, I haven't done anything for the last like year or two, I'm able to look back on all the videos that I made. I'm like, you know what? Actually, I just went on vacation 2 or 3 months ago and I'm already forgetting about that. Oh, you know what? Last week, I went and hung out with a friend. It reminds me, like, actually, I am doing some positive things. Things aren't as bad as I think in my head. Number three, which kind of relates to number two, when you talk to the camera, it's hard to describe, but especially when you are used to talking to the camera, like I'm pretty comfortable talking to you guys, as you can tell now, where maybe somebody who's more of a beginner, you're still nervous, you're still not sure, like you feel like you're putting yourself out there. But there's a strange thing that happens when you let yourself get used to talking on camera, when you practice enough, when you film enough. And this is what I always tell people who ask me if I seem like I'm comfortable talking on camera. Listen, I've been one of those people before who've asked that exact question. How do you get comfortable talking on camera? The answer is you film yourself, you do your best at it, and if that's not good enough to make it on your channel or whatever it is that you're putting out there, scrap it, start over. Keep filming, keep talking until you get comfortable. You literally just practice, even if all you do is waste like literally hundreds of hours talking to the camera and it never makes it out there. There's a point to it. You are gaining skills that you don't realize you're getting. You're gaining public speaking skills. You're more comfortable with the camera. Like, there's so much communication and valuable like life skills that you learn from making YouTube videos that you don't realize until you have them. So this process of talking to the camera is you teaching yourself. Just because nobody else is involved and you're not getting any positive feedback doesn't mean you're not improving. But so when you finally get to the point that you are comfortable talking to the camera, this really interesting thing happens. When your mental health is really, really bad and you're consciously aware of the fact that you talking to the camera means that there's a message that's going to get out to a person, but at the same time, there's not exactly a filter of a person there. Like, if you had a literal friend or family member in front of you, you filter out parts of yourself or how you present yourself by who they are, what your type of relationship is to them. With the camera, that filter isn't there because you know it's not really like one person or one specific person. And especially when you know that you are capable of just like scrapping the idea if it's not good enough, and not everything you film has to make it online. There's been times where I turn on the camera, I talk for a few minutes, I'm attempting to make a video on one point, I go off script, I start talking about like whatever's on my mind, suddenly I start crying, and that's like a therapy session right there. And it makes it clear I'm not doing as well as I thought. I'm more stressed than I thought. Also, if I don't film anything for a long amount of time, like not even what makes it on the channel, because again, as of recent, I've been posting a lot more frequently. But before hitting this number, before being more consistent, when I'm still a beginner, I realized there was times when I'd be like super like energetic, like I'm capable of filming and editing, and then suddenly I drop off. And I realized the times when I dropped off, when I wouldn't even attempt to film, or I feel like I have no free time, I feel like I don't have any ideas on what to do next, I recognize I need to focus more on self-care. I need to organize my life better. Maybe there's some sort of toxic component that's been added into my life that I need to remove. It could be I'm socially isolating, I haven't spent enough time with my friends, I'm not eating well enough, like I need to refocus back on not buying takeout and getting groceries, or I stopped going to the gym, like I fell off that train and then I start to feel bad. There's always a reason why there's a change in my pattern, in my behavior, and it's much more clear to see. If I can't even do some basic things to get myself to look presentable on camera, there's usually a reason. There's something underneath it all that's going on with me that I need to take care of. Okay, next. Number 4, because I am conscious of the fact that I'm not making money off of this, but I still push myself to work on it, I change my mind and my focus. Instead of being overly involved in this toxic hustle culture and not controlling my thought patterns and letting myself get lost in unhealthy things, I change my mind from thinking that things are worthy of doing because they produce money to the thinking that a lot of the best things in life are worthy inherently, and that really life has meaning in the way that I myself give it meaning. It keeps me grounded to realize that money is really just a tool to get the things that you need to be able to have the experiences that you desire, and that simply posting and editing videos of my life and sharing the thoughts I have inside of myself is worthy, are to me personally worthy inherently by the virtue of what it is. It's like the saying, art for art's sake. Things are worthy because they are. Like, beauty is worthy because it simply is. Not everything is tied to money. And even though most people go on this platform to replace their job or to make a lot of money, for me personally, it's kind of done the opposite. Instead of it being like I become someone who's all about like, let's get it, let's hustle, let's make money, instead I think to myself, I could easily spend all of this time to come up with ideas, to film myself, to edit, script, to reply to comments, doing something else. Like, I could be a mental health counselor if I really just wanted to, and I could be paid hourly right now up front. I could literally take a second job, do anything part-time. I could do so many other things if my number one goal was money. And maybe I'll see money from this in a month or maybe 10 years, who knows? But it's worth doing simply because of the nature of what it is. I'm sharing ideas, I'm interacting with the world, I'm creating something, and that has a lot of value. I 100% think there is so much to be gained, so many skills to be learned, so much value to be shared with people before you even get to the point of being monetized. And the thing is, like, the better you get at it, then something will come from it. Like, my train of thought is you can live 2 different ways, either putting money as number 1, like money needed now, if I'm not getting money from it, then it's not worth doing, or you can choose to be person number 2, which is pick something you're passionate about, pick an art, a form of art, and art is very loose in the way that I'm using it, and focus on putting all of your attention and effort into being the best at that one thing, that one pursuit that is worth your time on this planet, and then the money will inevitably come. One of 2 people, either money is all, or you want instead to prioritize the richness of life, of involving yourself in a passion. And inevitably, if you actually become passionate enough and you let yourself go all in on this thing, you will get good enough. You just find a way to monetize it, and all of your needs will be taken care of, which I think is a much better and healthier way to live. I'd rather be an artist, I'd rather have great experiences, and I'd rather have the accomplishment and the pursuit of a passion. I simply pursued making these videos because I want to share my messages out with you guys. I want the interaction. I want the feeling of I'm improving someone's life in some sort of way with whatever I have, and that it's not just a one-time thing that I do in my regular day-to-day life, but rather if I make one video, I can help many people, and I can have that interaction like times 100, or times, lucky for me, 50,000+ with that one video that I made. And like I said, that is amazing to me. That is rare, and I think it's worth a lot. Number 5 now. So like I've told you guys before, I made this channel in 2007, and I posted my first video 10, maybe 15 years ago. It's really hard for me to say. And because of that, I've experienced many different types of people, many different lifestyles. I've been able to connect with people from all over the world and really get a close and intimate look at their life. And by also posting videos and making my face public on this channel, I have more balls because of that, because I'll leave criticism if I genuinely feel that way, but I also know that I'm attaching my name and my face to it, and so I have to mean what I say, is what I'm saying. Like, don't just leave a hate comment to get something off my chest, but also push myself to be out there and not hold back when I'm like, hey, you clickbaited me. And on the other hand, I am much more compassionate toward other people, especially those online, like in general. Anyone I see online now, I understand the effort that it takes to put yourself out there, to be in the public eye. Like, I understand how brave people are to put like all of these details of their personal life, and to know that literally anyone can leave any kind of comment on it and they may be exposed to things they don't want to see. And it's allowed me to become someone who's like, you know what, like I want to consider people more in my day-to-day life and online, you know, not just online. Number 6, it's kind of like a review, self-improvement. I am more able to see patterns in my life and how to improve them. The whole pattern of perfectionism, that was something that held me back for a long time, or the whole pattern that I'm sure many people go through, which is getting super motivated, posting a couple of videos, and then dropping off or backing down when it becomes too hard, when I'm like, I don't know how to edit this, it's too challenging. I recognize this. It's easier to see when you do it over and over again and you're hoping for a result that never happens. It's much more obvious when it's there like forever, like for 10, for 15, for 17 years that YouTube has been around, that my account has been around. In personal life, in your personal life, like you can have certain patterns, but it's easier to just like brush things aside and start over. When it's like one profile and it's been there for so long, you're like, no, that's part of who I am, and if I ever want to see a different result, I need to change that. I need to manage it somehow. And it's easier to see from a third person point of view what my problems really are, how I can improve them. And this is going to be the last one. I believe it's number 7. So YouTube allows me to dream. I think, wow, one day if I keep trying, I can make something like all of these people that I watch. Like that one video or that one vlog looks so amazing. Like the quality, the editing, the music, it's so engaging, it's so entertaining. One day I can be there. One day I will be there if I just keep working at it. And honestly, I feel like I've built a lot of self-confidence up by realizing that I can overcome any challenge that life throws at me. And it's not limited to like, oh, I survived a toxic job, or oh, I survived such and such personal trauma, but that I can translate that resilience and that confidence that I've built up over years of learning through going through different trials and tribulations into, it's not just that I'm a survivor, it's that I'm a resilient person overall. I can go after a goal and achieve it. And even just hitting 100 subscribers is like a big deal. And I can do that, and it's amazing that I can do that. I learned a little bit of something new, and I got a little bit better. So many people drop off before they hit 15 years trying to be a YouTuber, and somehow I didn't. That's kind of amazing. I wish I had figured it out sooner. It's a little bit embarrassing as well, I'll be quite honest with you. But it's also kind of amazing that, like, it doesn't matter how long it is, like, I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna get there somehow. I see my dreams and my future plans as being more possible every single time I find a way to publish, despite how bad I feel, or any procrastination I have, or my introverted resistance to being in the public eye. And believe it or not, there's inner childhood wounds that heal when I have the chance to put my words out there to you guys. But despite like a couple of negative comments, it's overwhelmingly been positive to me. And that's kind of amazing. Knowing that my thoughts matter to anyone, to the point that I have comments from some of you guys saying like you were in a downward spiral, you were upset, you had an anxiety attack, you were questioning your self-worth, your life, etc. And that you're so grateful that you found the video and it made a difference and you feel normal now. Like the fact that these thoughts in my head that I maybe when like I said, when I was younger, I've shared this with you guys in another video, would be shot down and rejected, and that it could reach even a single person and heal them in any way. Like, I feel really emotional. I'm so grateful for that. I always get cheesy toward the end of these videos. I'm so sorry. I'm just really, really happy. By opening myself up to the world, I become something else. And I think that's worth more than money. To make a positive impact in the world. And like I said, to have a way to not just reach one person in need, but to be connected with so many different people. It's just like multiplying positivity. And I love it, and I'm so happy. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey that we are embarking on together. And if you're thinking about starting a channel, I 100% recommend it. See you in the next one.